Happy Tuesday, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered. I'm Debbie O'Hanley, your host, with my friend Margi Kyle, founder of Little Smiles. I am super excited today, Margi, about our guest. We have been concentrating the last month on some hope and healing in our community, and kind of wrapping it up here with Mike is a great way to put the cherry on top of what we've been speaking about. So I'm excited to hear about what he has to say. How was your weekend?
Actually, it was very busy.
Yeah? What'd you do?
Well, I had a Holy Sunday, that's for sure.
Holy. Okay. We'll take
I
it.
had to usher in the morning, and then they had at Mount Zion a guest choir director, and I think 7 different churches sent people from their choir,
Nice.
and the music just blew you away.
Aw, we all have to find hope in our community
Yeah.
these days. And if you can find
And
it
it
in
put
your
a
church,
huge smile on my face.
yeah, a girl, love it. Hope and smile. That's the way to do it in our community. Well, we had dinner at a new, relatively new restaurant in Hunterville called Akuzar. And that means sugar in Brazilian. And I said I'd give a shout out to Hector. He was so lovely, the manager there. We had a very unusual and different meal, something, not run of the mill. And I suggested if listeners are looking for something new and different, that they go check out Azucar in
Oh,
Huntersville. Maybe somebody might want
sounds
to interview.
very
It
interesting.
was very exotic. I
I
live a
think I
charmed
will.
life.
Yeah, we let you out once a
Yeah,
month.
every now and then we get to do that. You
Well, we
have to.
missed you last week.
I missed being here, but it's very important. We're transitioning my mom into Williams Place, which is a retirement community in Davidson, and it's been a mountain top experience, up and
And I was
down.
telling my kids about that,
Yeah.
and my son said, Mom, you're going to drive us into a home before we'll ever take you.
I'd like to move in myself. 3 meals a day. There's a gym on site. There's a hair salon. There's a chapel. There's a library. It's really a lovely community. But, change is hard, especially when you're 85.
Yes, yes.
And she has a beautiful lake view. So I don't see anything wrong with it. But, when you've been doing something your whole life the same for 85 years, to do something different is a little challenge. So, we talk in our family and in the professional world that I'm in about transition, right? And excited to talk to Mike about what that word means, because transition is the space between what was and what will be. And I think
Yes.
Novant is going through a transition themselves. So we're going to hear about that, and excited to hear about it. Listeners, if you would like to talk to Mike or Margie or myself, you can call the studio at 844-788-3464, and we would be excited to take your call.
Absolutely. We had a couple calls last week.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, I have a little gift for you.
I love gifts. What you got?
I have my friend Ellen Stafford makes bracelets for
Aw,
my kitties,
lovely.
and take them and let them pick one
I
or
will.
two, because asking a child to pick one toy takes hours. But if you can say
Absolutely.
take 2 or 3,
I love these. They say
Yeah.
brave and strong and
And
wish and hope and joy. Lovely. We were making them for a while at Hope House.
I know
We
you were.
teaching some of the ladies how to do that, but it's sort of things got busy for them, and we've sort of fell by the wayside of doing it. But it's very inspirational to look down and have a piece of jewelry or a reminder of.
And if you have another child that needs a smile, you know where our storage unit
I
is.
have a new baby that came in this week. We haven't had a baby in a while, and a baby makes everyone the mother of the year,
Well,
including me.
let's have a baby shower.
Absolutely, absolutely. We would love it. A lovely new family moved in. We are transitioning another new family in the next couple of weeks. So we are a busy place, and getting geared up to make a lot of changes.
Good.
Yeah.
And if you know of a child in a hospital, shelter, or hospice, please let me know, because we will do what it takes to put a smile on that child's face. No child should be alone wanting something that we can get so quickly and so easily.
I have visited Margi's Storage Center. It is like the North Pole.
I don't have time to play with all these toys.
It's and you say when I pick one, you're like, no, 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 take another, take another. It's like buy one get one free with
That's
Margi.
right.
So I love what you do. I love what you do for our community and our kids and putting smiles on their face. I know that there must be some really happy staff when you come into the hospital. They know that you're there to spread some joy and some hope. And
if they don't find it in the first storage unit, I take them to the second one.
oh, that's incredible. You know, I think having two storage facilities just reminds us how generous this community is and what they can do for you. And I know that.
And also how hurting some people really are here.
Absolutely. We're seeing more and more of that. And
My most favorite story was you when you came to storage the first time. And I had that huge monkey. And you said, nobody will play with that monkey. I mean, the monkey was bigger than we were.
he was pretty big.
And so I said, okay, if nobody touches monkey, in a couple days I'll come and pick him up. Well, this little girl was being very naughty, and her mother said, you're in a timeout. Go tell Monkey what you did wrong. So she's whispering in Monkey's ear, and she turns to her mom with her hand on her hip and said, Monkey didn't think I was that bad.
It's amazing what a toy or a gift can do to children, and especially in our situation, children that are living homeless. You know, sometimes you have to make the choice between leaving toys behind in order to take food or a blanket or something. And, you know, some of my favorite experiences are going into public school classrooms and talking to children about what it looks like to be homeless. And, you know, we do this little lesson where we say, you know, if you had to leave tonight quickly, what would you put in your backpack? And
That's such a great question.
some of our kids are like, well, my Xbox or my, you know, my bike or my, no, you've got to take a backpack. So we have that reality check every now and then to just understand what some of our kids go through. So thank you for putting hope in our community and a smile on the face of some of our
Well,
children.
we're going to put together a baby shower for this little baby.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can't wait.
She's been sleeping on a floor. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's not going to last much longer.
about time she gets some good things
Yeah,
for her. So when we come back, we're going to be talking with Mike Riley, who is the president of Novant Health Huntersville Medical Center. And I know that Mike has probably gone through some struggles in the last few years, as we all have. And I'm sure that there's a lot that we're going to have to talk about. And I'm going to be curious to hear some of his answers to our questions. But the other thing I wanted to share is our friends at Lake Norman Rotary are going to be having their wine spectacular. I believe it's October 14th, and I'm not sure if tickets are sold out yet, but you can contact Margie and I, and we can let you know that. But Novant Health is the main sponsor, and it is a fabulous night in our community, and where Margie and I are on the receiving end of some of the fundraising that they do for us, and it's really a wonderful night for us to feel the hope and to see the smiles in our community from generous donors and people that want to get involved to make a difference.
Absolutely.
So we are putting hope back in the headlines every day. When we come back, we're going to be talking with Mike Riley, president of Novant Health Huntersville, and Margi Kyle and I will be back shortly.
More of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Stuart Owen Dance, the resident dance company of Asheville's Wortham Center for the Performing Arts, is performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Saturday. Want to learn more about Stuart Owen Dance before the event? Listen and watch Justin Dione, Executive Director of Kane Center for the Arts, during his show, Know the Scene, on Tuesday or on demand anytime. Just visit WSICnews.com and click on radio shows to find Know the Scene. Stuart Owen Dance, this Saturday, kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The sesquicentennial celebration for the town of Huntersville is here. this Saturday from 2 until 8 p.m. at Huntersville Athletic Park. Come celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday, Saturday, September 23rd. For more info, visit huntersville.org. The All-American Dog Show is back in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st, 2 until 5 p.m. Your furry friends are also welcome to attend. You can even enter them into the contests. Be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Well, it's going to be another beautiful day out there today. Looking at sunny skies with a high temperature this afternoon of 80 degrees. And as you head into the evening and overnight hours, still mostly clear conditions with that overnight low dropping to 55. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Now more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. I am so excited today. We have a great day planned for you. But before we get started, I know some of you out there have playpens, cribs, high chairs that are just kicking around, and they have no place to go. Hope House would absolutely embrace it.
Absolutely.
And appreciate it. So if you're sitting there listening to us, please pick up the phone and call 844-STUDIO-4 and let Bill know a phone number and what you have, and we will make it happen.
Awesome.
Thank you. Oh, Mike, I'm so excited to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. I was listening to a show you did with Bill Russell and Joe Vagnone today. So I thought, I'm going to get some more notes on him. I don't have enough notes on him. How our relationship started was Nicole Burton was in the Leadership Lake Norman Chamber program.
Right.
And Bill had asked me to speak on starting a nonprofit. I had just hung up Zoom and the phone rang, and it was Nicole. And she said, I have to talk to you now. And I said, okay. We started talking, and of course she was getting the Martin Truex emergency wing started in Huntersville for the kids. And that has been another one of Little Smile's passions. Unbelievable what he did for our community.
It has been unbelievable. We have had kids in our ER for the hospital's been open for 18 years now, and we take care of kids all the time and have done a great job with that. Clinically, we've done a great job, and we've cared for them. But you think about it, if you're a 6-year-old little girl and you fall off your swing and you break your arm and you go to the ER, you're in a room next to maybe a psychiatric patient and maybe a car accident and maybe a gunshot wound, and it's just it's a horrifying place if you're a little kid.
I've been there.
Right.
Yeah.
So what? Thanks to the Martin Truex Foundation and a lot of other donors, especially the NASCAR community, we've created this pediatric-friendly ER where there's a NASCAR theme. Every room you go into has a different NASCAR driver who's donated the room and designed the room.
Yeah.
So it's a neat place to go where, nobody wants to go to the ER, but at least in this atmosphere, it's a little more fun and it feels a little safer.
And what Little Smiles has done is provide your nurses with bags, depending on the age, if they're babies, like a blanket, a stuffed animal, something they can hold right away.
Right.
And if they're older, maybe it's a game, maybe it's a Barbie doll or whatever little girls and
Yeah.
boys like to play, so that as soon as they come in, they're given something.
Right. And we can't thank you enough for that because yes, the atmosphere is nice, but they're still scared to death. And to
Absolutely.
have something like that to
Yeah.
hold, and we have our child development specialists who are experts at helping the kids get through that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And they'll use play therapy and other things, and they'll explain. The thing that's worse, I think, for kids is not the needle or the procedure or the painful thing, it's the fear before they have that done. And so what they'll do is they'll use your toys to play, to show them what the doctor's going to do,
That's
what the
right.
nurse is going to
Yeah.
do, to make it so that it's not so scary.
Yeah. Well, I
Question-
know when my son, and then I'm sorry to interrupt, broke his neck when he was 15 and was screwed to the wall, all he could do was, I think it was goo, we called it. And he, all day long, would try to get a straw out of the cup. And if he did it, and the nurse finally said, I'm so sorry, but he's got to stop it. And I said, why? And she said, he's ruining the wall. And I said, I will have it painted when he leaves. That's all he could do. So
I just had a question, Mike. If a child is in need of ER services, do they go into the main entrance of the ER or do they go into the Truex?
Yeah, we have two separate entrances.
Okay.
So and which is also great. They come into the pediatric friendly side and they wait in the pediatric friendly side,
Okay.
which is probably better than being in a NASCAR room because the waiting room can be just as scary as being in the back of the ER, if not more.
absolutely.
So yeah, there's a separate. Everything is completely bifurcated. There's a separate pediatric triage, separate triage room, separate triage waiting. So it's a great. There's cartoons on.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
great to
different-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
well, and I learned that you started about 30 years ago as an assistant nurse.
As a nursing assistant. Yeah.
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 And then you went in and became a registered nurse.
Margie, you're giving away my age.
My hair does it, honey. You've had so much stress, you don't have any. But
Yeah, I've been in healthcare for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
now. Yeah. I started as a.
and your wife is too. I
My wife
understand.
is a rad tech by training, but now she's a physician's assistant in mental health.
Okay. Which is a
God
huge
bless.
problem right now.
Oh, it is. It is probably our biggest crisis in healthcare and
Yeah.
really in the country and in all things today. Not enough resources. More, especially coming out of COVID, more and more people's mental health issues are exacerbated, and there are just not enough people to take care of them.
No, we
Well,
had
and
an
I-
epidemic before COVID,
We
and
did.
COVID made it much worse for sure.
And now they're just starting to realize what our kids went through.
Right.
That graduated, didn't have a graduation, didn't have a dance, didn't have any of that closeness.
I'm sure years from now we'll look at studies, and I'm interested in seeing which kids were affected the most. Is it the 5-year-olds, or was it the middle schoolers, or was it the high schoolers who were most negatively impacted by COVID?
Yeah.
Because you know that at each stage of development, it's important. It's important
Yeah.
that you go to school. It's important that you interact with other kids, and we didn't get that for 2 or 3 years.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And that affected everybody in a different way. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do you think I'm seeing and hearing of a resurgence of COVID?
Yeah, and it's back, but it's not back like it was.
Okay.
So we're seeing more and more positive cases in the hospital, but usually they're on a patient who is in with something else. So it's not it's almost like the flu. Sometimes when we have big flu seasons, we'll get more patients with respiratory issues, but they're usually the patients who are immunocompromised in some way, or older, or who would normally get sick from the flu. They're the ones who are getting additionally sick from COVID. So it's not like the Omicron wave or the Delta wave where we're seeing people die of COVID specifically, and young people and all that. But it is back, and you're hearing they're talking about the trifecta: the flu, the RSV, and the COVID, all coming again this winter.
Yeah.
So I can imagine we're going to have a lot of respiratory issues.
Ugh.
Do you
going
think
through.
you'll see the return of the mask mandate?
So I don't know about the mandate for all, but I can tell you at Novant, we are already intermittently masking in different areas. So The ER, for example, we're masking there just because there's so much respiratory stuff, not necessarily COVID, but COVID. On our inpatient or all our other units, we have a rule where if 5 team members are positive for COVID, the whole unit has to mask.
Wow.
Just because I remember back when old COVID, I don't know what to call it, the original COVID happened, we were spreading COVID in the break room. And so now I think, we're spreading respiratory illnesses again, just like we always have in the break room. And so we're having people mask on those units where we have higher incidence of COVID.
Yeah.
So whether we're going to mandate everywhere all over again, not for me to say, but we're starting to be proactive in the hospital.
Good.
I was fortunate enough to be asked to be on your advisory council, which I'm honored to do.
And we so appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. But the last speaker we had, was talking about burnout from the doctors and the nurses.
Yep.
And I can see that that's, we worry about our kids, but I worry about our doctors and our nurses too, because what we put on them.
Oh yeah, that's Dr. Tom Janicki. He is.
Oh, he was fabulous.
Oh, he's amazing. But he's over all things resiliency for the team, all the team members at Novant Health, and they have put together some amazing programs to help the team. But it's something, you think about it, over the last 3 or 4 years, those clinicians were in the middle of it all, and they watched people die, and that's something that we at the hospital unfortunately see all the time. People go through stages of life. But with COVID, we were seeing 30, 40, 50-year-old people with little kids dying, and that's different. And you think about end-of-life decisions, and as you get older, you know that your time's coming, and so you sort of prepare and you talk to your family, and you're not, nobody's ever ready, I don't think, but you kind of have a plan. With these 30, 40, 50-year-olds, nobody knew who was going to take care of the kids. It was awful. So and as healthcare workers, it's as hard as we try, it's impossible to be in that and see that and witness that and not be affected by it. And so a lot of our team members really got burned out from that. I think there was a huge nursing shortage pre-COVID.
Yes.
It's worse now because, those who are in nursing who were maybe older and were a few years away from retirement said, oh, I'm just going to retire. Or there's a lot of jobs that nurses and other healthcare workers can do from home.
Yeah.
With all of the technology that we have now is that they don't have to work bedside. So it's been a big struggle to get folks to come back and to kind of continue to recruit healthcare workers.
Yeah.
Now, anybody listening out there that might want to help, other than maybe donating some money, are there any other things that might help the...
I think the thing that I ask the community to do most, donating is great and that's fantastic, but be nice.
Be nice.
And that sounds
That's
simple.
asking so little, but it's so desperately needed.
Yeah, and I think what happened during COVID are the incidents of patient to team member violence and aggression went up dramatically.
Yeah. I want you to hold that thought.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try to put some hope back in the headlines, Mike. Okay, we're going to do that with a smile. When we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more from Mike, president of Novant Health Huntersville Medical Center. It's a fascinating conversation that we're having, and I don't think there's anybody that isn't has been affected by what we're talking
That's
about.
right.
So welcome back. When we come back, we'll be talking more with Mike.
More of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
To some, this might sound like a typical family dog. But at Dog Chow, we know that for a veteran suffering from PTSD, this could be the sound of life-saving therapy.
Thanks, Betty.
That's why we've made it our mission to connect every military hero in need with a canine hero of their own. To learn about the simple ways you can help Dog Chow in our mission, visit dogchow.com/veterans.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack.
but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Well, it's going to be another beautiful day out there today, looking at sunny skies with a high temperature this afternoon of 80 degrees. And as you head into the evening and overnight hours, still mostly clear conditions with that overnight low dropping to 55. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab of Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive, whatever the season is. Randy Marion service departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Black Powder Coffee is celebrating their 10th anniversary with a medium dark roast blend of Indonesian and South American coffee beans. Enjoy the full-bodied natural flavor notes of chocolate with a bright finish. Get Black Powder Coffee's new anniversary blend today at Black Powder Coffee, 261 Rolling Hill Road, Mooresville, or participating retailers everywhere. Black Powder Coffee.
It's community centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered. I'm Debbie O'Hanley, Executive Director of the Hope House Foundation, and I'm here with my friend Margi Kyle, founder of Little Smiles, North Carolina. And we are doing this show to try to put hope back in the headlines and try to bring a smile to someone's face. So if you're listening, I hope that you just listened to Mike, president of Novant Health Hunterville, tell us that we just need to try a little more kindness and to try to be a little bit more hopeful. It doesn't sound like it's a hard thing to do, but sometimes it's just one of those really tough things. So we are going to be looking for hope to be happening here on our studio at 105.9 FM. Margi, what other questions do you have for Mike? Let's play Stump Mike.
Yeah, we will in a second.
It won't take long.
We just had a phone call of somebody donating something for Hope House.
Thank you.
Which we cannot thank you enough. And please call in if you have a high chair, crib, playpen, baby, toys, whatever.
844?
Studio 4. You got it memorized.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So be nice. You know, it takes so little.
True.
I think we forgot the word thank you, and I appreciate what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's very true. I think during COVID, I think people hated COVID so much, we all did, that in the beginning of when it first started, there were huge outpourings for the team, and everybody, I don't think for the first 6 months the team had to pay for lunch because there was always something coming. But as it drug on, the second year and the third year and the fourth year, I think people got so tired of COVID and everything that came with it that the healthcare workers kind of became the face of COVID. Not people weren't intentionally thinking that they were COVID, but they were so mad that they were much more aggressive toward our healthcare workers. And so we've seen a significant, and this is not just Charlotte, or it's the country, has seen a significant increase in violence toward healthcare workers. So I think that's the thing. I think you said it, Margie. Say thank you. I think that means so much.
It does. It does.
It's hard. I was talking in the break about how we, the nurses and all of the healthcare workers have over the last 3-4 years have been in sort of combat mode. They were inundated with patients and sickness and all that they just had to get stuff done to keep people alive and make them better, and they didn't have time to do the things that I think most people got into healthcare for, and that's to give to people. And
That's right.
And it's I tell people this all the time. If you got into healthcare to make a lot of money, you probably made a bad decision. you get into it to care for people and to get that reward back, when you give to people and they're appreciative. And so I just tell everyone, be appreciative, and give grace, and that's what healthcare people got in it for, is for that.
It takes so little to just print out a little card to your doctor. I appreciate what you did for me. Thank you for taking the extra time. And stick it in the mail.
I think they have that in the office that my mom goes to, which is the same one as you, a little appreciation card at
Yes,
Novant.
they do.
And I, as a person there in need, appreciate reading other people's feedbacks and comments about the staff there, because it really makes me feel like I've made the right choice to be there to get care from a team of people that really do care and are really involved in people's lives.
That's right.
I know, I'm sure that Little Smiles has benefited from some of the community engagement that your staff and your participants have done over there.
Yeah.
And I know at Hope House we have, and it just always blows me away that these are service individuals who are so entrenched in that they're going out into their community to provide more service to individuals who need it. So as someone who's on the receiving end of receiving that community engagement, I'm grateful, and I'm very appreciative that there is that mindset to give back to the community. It's an important thing to do. And, when you talk about the healthcare staff being the frontline workers, at Hope House, we were essential workers as well. We could not shut down. And, all my friends who are working from home, and they're like, you're going in again? And I'm like, we're not stopping. We can't stop. Homelessness doesn't take a break, even though there's COVID out here. So we think about what we received working with the population that we were working with, and I'm sure that you saw some of the same things. So finding your joy again, looking for hope, and looking to give a smile, it doesn't hurt. I had a woman just today, I was in a store when I came out, and she said, hello, have a blessed day. And I thought, holy mackerel, can I get some more of that? But it actually reminded me to say it to the next person
That's
that
right.
I was going to see. So Margie, have a blessed day.
You as well, my friend. And we always do, because we find such joy in giving.
Absolutely.
I had a client as a designer who was going through a rough time. She had to move into $1 million house.
Aw.
And I had to do all her design work and da-da-da, and she was miserable. And her husband said to me, she hasn't gotten dressed in months. So I said, come on, I'm going to take you out for a little drive.
Aw.
She went and got all dressed. We went to Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital to a birthday party for a little 8-year-old who had a terminally ill disease. She's still going strong, thank heavens. She said to me, don't you ever do that to me again. But it changed my life because I realized how much there's out there of people in need. And when you give just a little bit, you get so much more back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a saying at Hope House that hope, what does that mean? It's a gift that's invisible but yet can be seen.
Yeah.
It's really easy to make hope visible when you have to try at it, for sure.
You want to hear a story?
Yeah.
So just a week or so ago in the hospital, we had a terminally ill person in our ICU, and her daughter or her daughter-in-law, her son and daughter-in-law were about to get married, but it was going to be, I don't know, 3 weeks from now, and they couldn't, and they were afraid that she wouldn't make the wedding, so they were married in the ICU by our chaplain about 2 weeks ago. So it was a beautiful.
We've
beautiful
done several
ceremony.
weddings.
Beautiful.
And actually, I got my whatever you get so that I can marry, bury, and baptize.
Really?
Wow.
We had a little girl that was dying. She was at Ronald McDonald House, and I said, what's your last wish? She said that my parents got married, and I said, well, I can marry you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
It was just, what a treat.
Mike, quick question for you, and maybe it's not a quick answer, but what do you say about all of the changes that are coming? How do you keep up with the challenges of Medicare, the changes that happen? It seems almost daily. And one thing that I think about all the time is allowing our doctors to care for our patients rather than insurance care for the patients.
Yeah, that's not.
Is that a whole nother show?
It's not a short answer. It's troubling. I think what we continue to see in healthcare is reimbursement rates change, and the ability to
Well, sorry, not to interrupt you. We're going to come back to that. But William, we have a call. He wants to thank Mike and the nurses out there, and he'd like to call in.
Sure, that would be wonderful.
We're waiting on William. Go ahead, William. This is Debbie, Margie, and Mike.
Hey, Debbie, I exchanged my number to your screen caller. I think it's Bill.
Yes.
But anyway, I gave him my number, so we'll be in touch.
Fabulous.
It's just something I've always done for a few years now, kind of a quiet Santa Claus type deal. Just go around to some of these mom and pop stores and pick up toys and onesies and little clothes and whatnot and stuff like that, just to give back to the children, because I know it means the world to them. And but anyway, I wanted to commend Mike. I think that's the gentleman's name that you have on the show today.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be an essential worker. I've been a truck driver for 35 years, and fortunately, the COVID-19 kept me working just like as well as it did with him, and it turned our world upside down. And I think a lot of people, with the stress and everything that was associated with COVID-19, maybe lost sight of that, which rightfully so, because it's so easy to do. We just forget. But it's just means the world to me to have people like Mike and people that work in the medical field. Without you guys, we don't know what we would do. Just like the fire workers and the police officers, we're all essential workers, and we try to work together on all of this. And it's been real hard for us the last 3 years, 4 years. But Mike, I appreciate what you do. Thank you. I know you don't know me, and I don't know you, but I thank you for what you do.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, William, I really appreciate that. And thanks to you, the country would have essentially been shut down had it not been for truck drivers like you. So really, really appreciate you.
You know what? You just warmed my heart, William. Really, thank you for what you just called in and told us. I mean, we're all three people here that have a heart to give, and to hear it from someone else unsolicited really means a lot to all of us, and warms my heart to know that you're actively participating and putting hope back in the headlines for us. So thank you so much, William, for calling in, and I agree with you.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, Debbie. And we're all under God's kingdom here.
Amen.
And it's God. All we got to do is just ask Him. That's what He wants us to do.
Amen. I agree with you, brother, 100% on that. Have a great day.
There's more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle coming up from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Stuart Owen Dance, the resident dance company of Asheville's Wortham Center for the Performing Arts, is performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Saturday. Want to learn more about Stuart Owen Dance before the event? Listen and watch Justin Dione, Executive Director of Kane Center for the Arts, during his show, Know the Scene, on Tuesday or on demand anytime. Just visit WSICnews.com and click on radio shows to find Know the Scene. Stuart Owen Dance, this Saturday, cainarts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The sesquicentennial celebration for the town of Huntersville is here this Saturday from 2 until 8 p.m. at Huntersville Athletic Park. Come celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday. Saturday, September 23rd. For more info, visit huntersville.org. The All-American Dog Show is back in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st, 2 until 5 p.m. Your furry friends are also welcome to attend. You can even enter them into the contests. Be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Well, it's going to be another beautiful day out there today, looking at sunny skies with a high temperature this afternoon of 80 degrees. And as you head into the evening and overnight hours, still mostly clear conditions with that overnight low dropping to 55. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
Now more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, with my friend Margi Kyle. We are listening to Mike, president of Novant Health Huntersville. We have a lot of questions. This should have been a 2-hour show, I think, Mike. We've got a lot going on here. We did have a caller, Hope, who wants to know if you can give any quick tips on how not to get sick during this season.
Yeah, and this is the time, all the things that you remember about COVID, stay 6 feet away from people. If you're sick, wear a mask. If somebody else is sick, stay 6 feet away from them. Wash your hands. Those are the kind of the basic ways to do it. And it's something I've noticed we've kind of stopped doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's COVID's over and COVID's not as bad, so we can not wash our hands and cough on people and all that. And you can see in the community the number of people getting sick is growing and growing and growing
Yes,
again.
it is.
We need to get a little bit more vigilant about that, I think. So I hope you're washing your hands, and I hope that you're using that antibac and all that other good stuff to prevent what we're going into this season. So, Margi, I know you have a question for Mike.
Oh, yes, I do. If you have a sick child, which I've had several, and do you take them to the emergency room, or do you take them to primary care, or what do you do?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay.
So it depends, and whether it's a child or whether it's you or whether it's your loved ones, it really depends. The ER is really for the highest level of care. So therefore, true emergencies that have to be dealt with immediately. And if when in doubt, if you're not sure, if you think you're that sick, go to the ER. If you think you're in certainly any life or limb threatening situation, go to the ER. But if not, the urgent care is usually a better way to go. It's a shorter wait for less severe things.
Right.
And then ideally your primary care, because most primary cares now, especially primary cares with the Novant, can get you in same day.
Okay.
So if it's something that you can wait till the next day, go to the doctor. If it's something that can wait several hours, go to the urgent care.
Yeah.
If it's something that's absolutely life-threatening, go to the ER. When you part of another good reason for that, as soon as you walk into the ER, it's a $700 charge. I mean, just to show up. Forget about what kind of procedures you have done. So think about that. And to walk into an urgent care, it's, depending on your copay, it's probably $30.
Yeah.
And so it's very different. And then your doctor is similar to that. So just thinking about the cost, and then thinking about all of the, our ERs are busy all the time. And so if you can avoid it, using a different route of care is probably better for you because you won't have to wait as long. Again, if you're sick, go. If you're really sick, go.
Right.
I don't want to tell people don't go to the ER.
Right.
But if it can wait several hours, or if it's a chronic kind of a condition, because I think a lot of times patients will come to the ER with something that's been bothering them for a month or two. And
that's not the time to do it. Yeah.
Well, and then they get frustrated because the doctor will say, okay, this is what we're seeing. We're going to set you up with this specialist. Yeah. And the patients will say, well, I could have done that. Yeah,
well,
you
should have. So, like, if you think you're having a heart attack, or if you have asthma, or anything
certainly.
like that, or you're choking,
Certainly.
that is an emergency, and a true emergency. Right. Yeah.
Can urgent care set bones and do stitches?
They can do stitches, and it depends on the urgent care. They're all different. But they set bones, probably not. They're going to probably want to get you to the ER for that. Sprained ankle, that they can handle. But if it's a severe break, then no, they're going to want to get you to the ER or an orthopedist. And with a lot of sports medicine type injuries, a lot of sports injuries, we have a ortho now program at Novant where you can go to the orthopedist directly, and they'll take care of whatever your issue is. Again, if your bone's hanging out, go to the ER. but if it's a sprained ankle or something relatively minor, they can do you ortho now.
Awesome. How about just a curious question? I know that we brought a woman into Hope House about 1.5 years ago who was a medical tech, a surgical tech.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was unemployed because she was living out of her car. And we were able to contact some staff at Novant and get her immediately hired. And so much so that 1.5 years later, after helping her recover from some financial obstacles, she left us as a traveling medical tech, making a whole lot of money, even more so than when she had worked prior to COVID. So I know that the traveling nurses, the traveling medical tech, the traveling people are making killer money in our community now, which I'm sure has impacted the folks that want to stay local and do that.
It has. It's something that it's interesting, during COVID, we had, say, 50% more patients on any given day than before. And so we were in desperate need for more nurses, scrub techs, all those things. And so we paid up for them. And but what we saw was the people who were ours, and I say ours, any hospitals, saw that they could make triple going somewhere else, and so they did. And so they kind of went away, for a good chunk of them went away from the hospitals and started doing the travel nursing and made a whole lot more money. We're paying them less now, but there's still a lot of them that are out there traveling, so we haven't recouped the ones that were home nurses, if you will, and scrub techs and rad techs and a lot of other jobs. So we're in the process of trying to get them to come home, because it's one of the things in healthcare that's really hurt us. You guys know about inflation and how that's up significantly over the last couple of years. Not to get into it, but our labor expense has gone up 17% in the last year.
Wow.
And our reimbursement, you asked me a question before about Medicare and Medicaid and how that works. The Medicare or Medicaid reimbursement doesn't change. So if our cost goes up 8% and our salaries go up 17%, that's, we can't raise the price of our hamburgers. We get what we get. So that's hurt healthcare, I think, a good bit.
Just come home.
Just come home.
Just come home. We want you to come back and service the folks in your community that need you. So,
and thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just really so grateful, Mike, for the impact that you and your team make in the community. As our caller William stated, that we just couldn't have done it without. And I think we need to recognize that more, that how difficult that transition was and how folks really need to heal from that and recover. And I'm hoping that we'll get an outpouring of support from that, and stop by. Folks always say at Hope House, what can I do? And you were like, just bake some cookies and drop them off. Maybe you could just bake some cookies and drop them off to some of the nursing staff or ER staff at the hospital. Just show some kindness, and it will come back to you tenfold. I am certain of that.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
I am certain.
We love to surprise the nurses at the hospitals with donuts and coffee.
Oh, I'm sure their hips thank you for that.
Mine do.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, what's happening with Lake Norman Hospital?
So we agreed with CHS, Community Health Systems, on a purchase price, and now we're really just waiting on the Federal Trade Commission to approve it or not.
Okay.
So and we hope to hear by the end of the year, beginning of next year, it's up to the FTC.
Okay.
Really. So that would be a great thing, and we're hopeful.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
Fingers crossed. We'll join you in being hopeful for that as well, right, Margie?
Oh, absolutely.
What else can we do to put a smile on Mike's face?
I have to tell a cute story about one of my doctors, who I'm not going to mention his name, but when he moved back to Novant, he said, I'm going to show you something I wrote in your chart. You're going to get really mad at me. And I said, okay, well, that's your choice. And so I finally said, what is it? And he said, I really like you. And I said, well, I really like you. And the best doctor I've ever been to. So he put a note on my chart, older woman needs more time. Because on the chart it said, limit 15 minutes per patient. And so he said, I had to put something on there so I could give you a few more minutes if you needed it.
That's fantastic. And I
they
think
go the extra mile for us. Why are we not doing the same?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think every primary care doctor would love to sit with you for 30 minutes or an hour. They really, really would. That's what they love. They love patients. They love talking to people. They love healing people.
Mike, what percentage of folks follow up with how was your experience at Novant? I know that we get those often, but
it depends on the survey, but 20 to 40%.
Okay. And is there a benefit to you for folks filling those out? Because I know there's a lot of people that ignore that. It probably is.
The biggest thing, it makes us feel good.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And it makes the team feel good, and there's comment sections, and we'll pull those comments out. If you say, Margie the nurse did this wonderful thing, we'll recognize Margie the nurse. And so they're fantastic for that. So yeah, I would say, absolutely fill those out. That's another great way to say thank you without having to come back in and bring cookies, even though that's okay too.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So fill out those comment cards or survey cards that you get should you have a visit to the hospital or to one of their medical facilities that they have, because that's important work. Absolutely.
It is. And it's important to spread good news.
Mm.
We're hearing so much about what my doctor didn't tell me this or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're only
maybe
practicing medicine, right? They're only practicing medicine.
It's an art and a science.
Didn't ask.
Absolutely. Well, today has been delightful, Mike. I really appreciate your time coming here. I've learned an awful lot. I feel like my friend Margie and I maybe helped put a smile on you.
Absolutely. This has been my pleasure. You guys are wonderful.
Absolutely. We try to be, right? We try to dazzle them here. But we're grateful for this opportunity to be on the studio. You are listening to Community Centered here. My name is Debbie O'Hanley, and my friend Margi Kyle joins me every week here. If you have an idea for a show, you can reach out to 844-STUDIO-4 and let us know. We are engineered by our friend Bill, who keeps us on track and keeps us on point. So thank you, Bill, for taking our calls and engineering us. We greatly appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Stay hopeful and smile.
The new 105.9